So, as I said, good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to our Learnifier Live customer webinar. This is an event for you, our dear customers, to get updated on some of our latest news and also what's coming up ahead. What we are doing to make Learnifier more fun and easier place for you when it comes to working within Learnifier. To start with, this webinar is 45 minutes long. And just as I told before, feel free to write any questions in the chat throughout the webinar as they pop up. Some of the Learnifiers will hang out in the chat trying to help you to answer your questions going on during this live event. Otherwise, if there's questions that we haven't been able to answer during the live, we will contact you afterwards to help you out with that. We will also be recording this webinar, so if you want to see something again or share it with your colleagues, you'll be able to do so because we'll send it out afterwards. So let's have a quick look at the agenda for today. We're gonna start with some words from Matthias, our CEO and co-founder of what's going on at Learnifier. After that, it's time to get an overview of the latest features in Learnifier together with Mona. And then we're going to deep dive into two of those together with Magnus and Mia, more specifically client-specific publishing and integration with win-loss. Then Mona is going to have some words about what they've been working on next, and then head over to our customer success managers, Gabriella, who will show us the new support and knowledge base, and then Diana, who will show us some tips and tricks when working as an admin in Learnifier. So let's get this party started and head over to you, Matthias.
Thank you, Jenny. Good day or good morning or good evening, everyone, depending on where you are. So just wanted to share a little bit on what's going on here, and excited to let you know that you are now more than 350 companies using Learnifier, which we obviously are super excited to know. With that, our team is also growing as we continue to invest in our product, which is obviously part of what you'll see here today. But we're also continuing to invest in the sense that we're growing the team to be able to provide an even better product and service over time. We're now a team of about 40 people and hoping to be maybe 10 to 20 more people by the end of the year. So we're really continuing to grow and hopefully build something that becomes even more exciting over time as we go. Talking about exciting, one of the things that we really do appreciate is that we've had some of you, our customers, come and share how do you work with Learnifier, because actually that's one of the most common questions we get from you, asking how do other companies work with Learnifier. And many of you might have seen already, but I still want to share that because I think it's a really good resource is that we have on our YouTube channel. You can also reach out to ask for it. We have what we call our customer stories, where we have customers talking about how they used, not specifically maybe Learnifier, but how they solved their problem. And by coincidence, it happens to be using Learnifier. But you can really check out our YouTube channel, and we can share that also following this live session, where you can see how the customers have used and work with Learnifier. Obviously, if you're interested in sharing your story, please reach out. We're more than happy to set that up and plan a date for sharing that. So let's dive in today. As some of you already know, we do work in what we call pulses here at Learnifier with our product development. And that is one of the big reasons for that is to help make it easier for you to stay aligned with what's going on in the product. So obviously we are, well, not obviously, but we do release code almost every day, which means that minor updates, fixes, etc. happen all of the time without you potentially even noticing. But for larger things that we're rolling out, we've decided to do that in what we call the pulses, which then always end with this Learnifier live event. And obviously today is May 16th, and it's time to look at what we've done in the spring pulse. And then also at the end of today, look at what we're going to be working on during the summer, and then invite you back in August to tell you more about what we were working on. So with that said, once again, welcome. I'm going to hand it over to Mona, who will dive into what we've been doing in our Spring Pulse. Over to you, Mona.
Great. Thank you, Matthias. I am happy to see everybody here. It's good to, although I don't see your faces, it's good to know that you guys are with us. Let's go over our new functionality, some of the things we have worked on in the Spring Pulse, and that is actually outlined now. The first piece is we have some customers that are not allowed to use Unsplash as an image bank. So we have provided the ability to hide that piece so there's no confusion when they start building courses and start using images. So kind of limiting that piece. So that's something that is available now. And if you're one of those customers, then just notify us and we can ensure that Unsplash is not an option when you do build your courses. Secondly, you can now target communication based on where the participants come from, so like the source, for instance. So we've made some updates to our automated communication function, I should say, and some really good ones. Again, you can target the communication based on where the participant come from. So the source, for instance, the API, or automation if they come from a self-registration link, when they come from the course catalog. So that's really great. And you can also we have added some additional conditions in our automated communications function so that you can send some emails or have emails sent to you, for instance, when a participant completes his pass or completes fails on an event. So that's really great things, and it ensures consistency and accuracy for you, so that basically you can send or get the right message to the right audience at the right time. And then we have some new integration partners. We have completed an integration with Alexis HR and our first phase with win-loss. And I know Mia's going to give you some more insights around the win-loss one. And we are also currently working on a site vision integration. So with that, let's dive into some of the new functions. I am sure you guys are excited to see some of these or get some deeper knowledge around these. Let's start off with the client-specific publishing. So this is relevant for anyone that has more than one client portal. So if you have different venues within your realm, I should say, I guess very technical, these terms. So apology if that doesn't apply to you. But basically with this client-specific publishing, you can now publish courses that are relevant for a specific target audience within that client portal. That allows for higher levels of personalization with the courses that is published, and also makes that workflow very simple for you, the admin, or the person who does actually do the publishing of these courses. And I think I'm going to turn it over to Magnus, who's going to give you some more details and more insights around this. So over to you, Magnus.
Thank you, Mona. First of all, this is about the new course catalog, which has not been enabled for all of you yet, but soon will be. So we have a new feature called client-specific publishing in this course catalog. And the problem that we're trying to solve is that today, when you add a course to the course catalog, it will be visible for all your users. So what you do if you want to show different courses to different users, for example, if you have multiple portals, you want to use just in one portal to see the course, but not in the other. Mona mentioned portals. We also call them clients. It may be a new concept to you. It's a way to divide users into groups, users and content into groups. We can use that for many things. Perhaps you have one portal per division within your own company, or you have one portal per customer if you have customers that use the Learnifier. If you want to control who sees what course, you can actually do that today by adding custom fields and controlling or restricting access based on those custom fields. It's a super powerful feature, but it can be quite tedious to set up and test. So we're releasing a new feature that will make this much easier to control. As you see in the white box there, it's a simple checkbox to say if the course is global on the bottom, and if you check the upper one, it is only visible to end users in one portal, the portal where the course is placed. This new feature will be available to everyone that use multiple portals. And as a bonus, we also add support to allow client admins to administrate the course catalog for courses that are in their client. Today, you actually need some kind of super user that administrates everything. So that will make it easier if you have certain people who's responsible for certain division, for instance. If we jump to the next slide here, yeah, this is an example of what it can look for the end users. This simple example, is a company with 2 divisions that need training. So the left user sees 3 courses. He works in the development division, product development division. He sees 2 courses, the one on the top that are relevant to his division. But then he also sees a global course that is about fire safety at the office. And then on the right side, you have someone who works in the sales division. He also sees this fire safety course. And then he sees some courses that are only relevant to his division. That's about it. I will be in the chat afterwards if you have any further questions. So back to Mona.
Thank you very much, Magnus. Then let's pivot over to our next piece, and that is kind of giving you some insights around how we are expanding our partnerships with integrations or integration partners. And this is so that we can kind of increase our ecosystem around Learnifier and kind of work well with other platforms and make everybody's life easier, or anyone that uses system and Learnifier. So basically, we are continuously developing this, bringing in new systems, partnering with new partners, and just kind of developing how we work with the ones, both current and the new. We've pivoted a little bit lately and moved into new partner integrations, and it now focuses on HR systems for this round. But we have other, I'm sure if you're using it, you have, we're aware of some other partnerships that we have, and we keep expanding that toolbox, all in with the intent of enabling users to integrate and synchronize workflows efficiently. So we're going to have our integration expert, Mia, go into details around these things. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Mia.
Thanks a lot, Mona. So next slide, please. So as Mona mentioned, we are having a lot of partnerships, but we have plenty of partnership integrations. And the newest addition to this is the one for Winloss. This integration is going to be automatic synchronization of employees and organizations from Winloss to Learnifier. That means that new employees will be added, updated in Learnifier, and eventually removed from Learnifier when they are leaving. The other part of this integration is that when someone has completed the course in Learnifier, that will automatically trigger a competence in Winloss. And which competence it should trigger, it's actually set up by you, the one who's using Winloss and Learnifier. So you choose which course should be which competence. In this integration, we also provide and set up single sign-on, so you can seamlessly log into both systems and don't need to use your passwords. As Mona also said, this is the first version. We are already into building the next thing there. And if you have other partnerships that you want us to go into, just let us know, and we will look into that also. As you see, I also want to take the opportunity to tell you about one of the additions we have made to our usual standard open API. That we are continuously developing new stuff in that one after input from our customers. And this new function, I want to highlight here because it's a bit bigger. It can be used, of course, when you build new integrations, but also for all of you that have existing integrations that update employees. This could be useful. This means that when you delete a user in Learnifier, when someone leaves the company, an employee leaves, and they need to be deleted from Learnifier, you can set up a buffer time. So you can, within that time, restore the user again. So it doesn't lose any of the course history or anything. So if the person comes back, if you re-employ, or if you have seasonal employees, this could be very useful. So if you want to have this implemented in your integration, please contact us and we will help you to do so. So then back to you, Mona.
Great, thank you, Mia. And then let's lift our gaze off the horizon and start looking at what's coming in the upcoming pulse. As Matthias mentioned, we are working in pulses, 3 months bouts, and this will be our summer pulse. And there's a few things that we're already kind of plucking away at for this pulse. The first one is the ability for admins to manually approve an event. So currently we have, for a classroom or a virtual event, once the event passes, the participants in that event gets automatically completed. And we're now going to give the admins or instructors the ability to kind of assign a pass or fail to that event. So they can manually go in and kind of approve who was there or not. That is something we've heard quite a bit from our customers for, so we're excited to take this in. Secondly, we're going to look at delivering new auto filters or new filter options for the learner catalog. And that should allow for a more enhanced and relevant learner experience, allowing the learners to find the courses that they're actually looking for in the catalog a little easier. Some of these filters will be, for instance, the start or the end date of a course. There will be the format of the course, so if it's an online, hybrid, or a classroom-based course. So learners should be able to kind of filter or find the right filter option and kind of combine the filter options if they so want to find the courses that they would like to take. Another thing with this is we're also going to allow the catalog admins to hide any filter options that they don't want the learners to see and use in the learner catalog. So that I think if you feel like language is not something that your learners would search on, or that's not relevant for them to find their courses based on the language, then they can hide that filter option and it will not be displayed for the learners in that catalog. Then thirdly, we're making improvements to our API service. So we're kind of increasing the information we're sending around quiz and survey results. For instance, I think at some point we're doing the complete questions of a quiz, or what the questions the participants got incorrect, and so forth. So that is the really good improvements, allowing our partners to get that info at their fingertips. Lastly, we will be working on the cross-project report. So this is also something we have heard from our customers, and that we're feeling like this will be something to take in and provide value to you all for. So basically, if you have a quiz or a survey that you use in different projects, we're going to give you a report that you can pull based on that specific quiz or project, and see how the participants in these different projects are doing related to that one quiz or survey. So if you have a course evaluation or an exit quiz, for instance, that you use continuously in other projects and courses, then you should be able to find or just kind of get a compiled report on the results for that quiz in this new report. And with that, I think we're going to go into our new customer support and knowledge base. So over to you, Gabriela.
Thank you, Mona. Yes, so we are getting ready to launch our new support. And the big news around that is that it's hosted on Swedish servers and that it comes with a brand new knowledge base. And we are planning to launch this end of May. So I'm going to give you a quick demo on how it looks to make sure that you are or feel familiar with it once we replace the current one. Let's see, here we go. All right, so the big change in the admin view is the visual change is that we have a new symbol, more intuitively placed in the bottom right corner. And from here, I can, as you are used to, submit a ticket. It looks slightly different, but works the same. The name, the fields for name and email are auto-filled, so I simply just have to describe what I need help with and submit it from here. Going back, I can also still search for information, what I need help with. So the difference here is that instead of the information in the help article being displayed in this box, I am taken into a new tab where I end up in our new knowledge base. And from here, I can read the full article or relevant parts of it. And this knowledge base is filled with help articles and guides covering basically everything you need to know about the system. And we know that many of you appreciate video tutorials, so many of these guides contains both video tutorials supported by written guides and helpful images. And the ambition with this knowledge base is that to make it easier for you to search for information yourselves, not in any way replacing our personal support because we love talking to you, but we do want to make your everyday life working in the system more easy and efficient. And yeah, like I said, we're launching this end of May, and we will of course give you an announcement once it's done. That's everything. So I think it's over to Diana for some tips and tricks.
Thank you, Gabriella. Hi, everyone. Hope you still have the energy to listen to us the last 20 minutes approximately. So my name is Diana. I work as a learning consultant at Learnifier. And today I've summed up some of our tips and tricks. So that's based on what I've seen working with our customers, stuff that people might not know about, haven't discovered yet, or simply just things you don't think about that often. So let's jump in. And so first of all, we are now in the administrator view, as you can see. So as I said, this might be something you recognize or it could be something new. Otherwise, I hope you get some inspiration for other stuff or to try something new out. So if we start here, just simply in the projects tab, the most common view is this one. So we see that our customers just keep pushing in projects and just have them in this kind of long lists. What I would like to just show you, for those of you who haven't worked with it yet, is to try to sum it up like this. So you work with folders. If you haven't tried this yet, please try it out and check it out. You have this tab here, new folder. It's very easy to create, to administrate. And the big reason why I want to encourage this is because even though if you work alone as an administrator or you're a group of administrators, this will help you to get a better structure with your projects or your courses. As you can see here, this is our demo, or the playground, as we call it, where we try things out and prepare some demos. So here is just summed up. So every person has their own folder. But of course, you could rename these and have onboarding courses. You could have archived courses or past courses or so on. So try it out and give it a chance to see how you could work with this easier. Let's switch tab here to other projects. Another thing I would like to show you is also to work with your favorite projects. Of course, favorite could be my personal favorite projects or subjects, but in this sense, this is the projects you work with currently, or this could be an ongoing course and you want to keep an extra eye on this course. Even though if you work with the folders or you have your long list with projects, eventually this will be kind of hard to keep track of all of these and find your current ongoing projects. Let's see if my computer wants to keep up with us. No, let's give it a second. So as I said, even though if you have this kind of list or you work with the folders, this is the favorite I'm talking about. So make a favorite. So if you compare the folders to the favorite one, the folders are for all administrators. You all have the same folders. And that's of course not something that will impact your learners. They will never see in what folder any course is being here in your administrator view. This is just for the structure for you admins. And this, on the other hand, is your personal favorites. So if we are several people in this portal working together, I'll have my favorites, Gabriella will have hers, and so on. So by clicking on this star and making this my favorite, I will easily find and access this kind of project here from my dashboard. So the main page here, as you can see. And I can just click into it and just jump directly into the project. Let's see if this one is working with us now. Yes, great. So this is just the same. This is the favorite. So I'm switching between different portals. That's why you have different favorites here. But let's stick to this one now. Here is the favorite. I could click into this one and just jump straight into the project. On the other hand, you could have situations where your colleague asks you to please take a look at my onboarding course or my pre-boarding or whatever else course that could be. Of course, you could have your great structure here within the folders and so on, but sometimes you don't know in which folder you could find the course. Then you have this search up here. So if you search here, you will search in all of the projects, no matter in which folder you have them. So if I simply search on my name now, you can see that I find the project that's named Diana's Introduction to Learnifier for Learners, but I will also get other hits here. It could be users, it could be materials in the library and so on. So as the same with the favorites, if I search for something here, I click on this project and I jump directly into it. Yes. So let's jump into the course specific. So first of all, this is, as you probably all know, this is the overview. So the dashboard and the start for this specific course. So now those tabs are just focusing on this specific project. We'll leave the folders, the projects, the search for projects, and just work with this one now. Let's jump into the edit course where the magic happens. and when you create all of this. You might all be familiar with the classical modules and activities, as we call them in Learnifier, and the way you build your courses. Another common thing that we see with our customers when they build their courses and create this is that you try to put much content into one activity, so into one of these pages, so to say. We would like to encourage you or to remind you that don't be afraid to split this up in activities. Don't be afraid to put an extra module because this could be much better as we see it for the learners from their perspective. What you want to do is you want to avoid to have your participants or your learners to scroll in the activity, the specific activity. And I will show you this. So tip number 2 here is to always work with preview as well. So let's jump into the preview and see what this activity looks like from the learner's perspective, the participants. As you can see here, if I want to go through the whole activity, I need to scroll a lot. And this is, as I said, something you would like to avoid. I would prefer to split this activity up into at least 2 activities, so you always give the feeling that you're moving forward as a participant. You are getting closer to finish this course. Instead, this one is something we prefer, just like this one. There is no scroll. And another reason to scroll is that keep in mind that your learners could take the course on their cell phone or their iPad, and imagine the scroll then. If I have to scroll now, what would the scroll be in my phone? You will just lose the interest and lose your learners on the way. So back to the administrative view. As I said, try to split it up. Don't be afraid to, and always work with the preview. Always try to get some extra eyes on your project. If you're working alone with this one, or you're a group of admins working in this project, try to involve someone else when you feel like 90% ready at least, just to give another perspective on the course. Something you feel is very clear and very easy to understand and follow could be something else for someone else. So always share it with a colleague or a focus group or something similar to that to get some extra eyes on your course. Yes. Moving forward here in the course builder, still in edit course, settings. This one is also easily to forget, or easy to sometimes go through the settings that you would like to have. I'm not going to go through all of these, but just as a reminder to always check your settings. Keep in mind that you could restrict the accessible. When should the activity be accessible? When should I lock an activity? Maybe to start with, if you're not used to work with this, start by locking a quiz, if you have those in a specific course, just to make sure that your participant goes through everything else before they take the test. Another one we would like to highlight is this completion criteria. All components is default. So if I have a video, I have web link, and I have a PDF in this activity, the system will require me to click on all of these components, as we call them, the link, the PDF, and I have to watch the video in order to be completed on this activity. What you could do here is to, of course, set your required components. So in my example, you could say that only the video is required. The web link and the PDF are optional. So that's similar to optional activity, but you don't put the whole activity as optional. you just put some components. So in that case, if only the video is required, I will simply be completed on this activity as a participant if I only watch the video without clicking on the link or the PDF. Another one we see that many of our customers miss sometimes or don't work with frequently is this manually set by learner. If you haven't tried it out, give it a try. It could work in some courses, of course, and as everything else, as we talk about functions and tips, this is not something you can apply in each and every course, but I will just like to encourage you to think about these things. So manually set by learner is that you get the extra button to click on as a learner before you get completed. So even though if you just have required components as a video, as a PDF or a link or anything else, and even though I watch the video, I won't be completed until I click on this extra button. So if we just take a quick look here, I do believe I saved it. Yes, I did. We have it here. So if I take a preview once again, you would now see that the most common case is, as you probably are familiar with the previous and the next button. Now we have added this mark as completed to this specific activity. So still an activity setting. And this could be something that, let's say in onboarding, as an example, you would like the new employee to read a checklist or some of your big security things to keep in mind and so on. And then you want them to take some action outside of Learnifier, outside of this activity, this project or course. Then you could be very clear in your instruction here and say, okay, now you have the main information. I would like you to schedule a meeting with your nearest manager or HR or anyone else and talk about this or set your personal plan or whatever it could be. Once you have done that, please mark yourself as completed and continue. Of course, you can use this in many other cases as well. This was just an example, but I would like you to just give it a think and see what could be the case for you. So, back to edit course again. So to sum it up here, take a look at your modules, your activities, your settings, and of course, last but not least, work with the layout. This could give another feeling to your participants. You have here the 50-50, very common layout, nothing wrong with it. I just want to give you the thought to step out of the most common 100%. So you have just one box with everything coming down. This is also a very beautiful example. If you work with the 3 columns, could have a picture and some text to it. As you can see, it gives a very, very beautiful layout, still very easy to follow. If we just compare it in the learner view, still the same here. So those were the tips here in edit course. Not gonna deep dive into anything else. The one big is, as you know, when you do something in edit course, it's of course saved. So I put in my activity with the video, with my text and so on. It's all saved. But I also do need to remember to click on Publish Course Design in order to show the latest updates to my participants, learners, once the course is live. And just to sum up all of these, of course, we won't go through each and every of this one. I could talk for hours about all of these tabs, is my feeling, but I won't do that, of course. Just to sum it up, always keep in mind to click Publish Course Design, go through your settings and your communication. That's the ones I would like to highlight here. So click on Communications and make sure you have the triggers you want to have here. The automated communication when a participant does or does not do something. Also, for those of you who work with this or not, but haven't discovered it yet, I would just like to encourage you to also take a look at the new added ones, as Mona talked about before. We have the status, we have the source to start with, and the waitlist coming up, of course. So take a look at those one and see what you could do to your course. Maybe you could do just small changes to improve something easily. Last but not least, the settings for this specific project, this course. Make sure you always take a look at the settings before you publish your course or you invite your participants. Make sure you switch on the calendar invitations if you have an event. Keep in mind the social features, for example. Do you want to use the social features for this project or not? Make sure just to check this out and just click on and off on the ones you would like to use in this specific project. As I said, I could talk for hours about this. The idea was just to sum up some of the things me and my colleagues have seen in our dialogues with you, our dear customers. And of course, don't be afraid if this is all new for you or you feel like, oh my goodness, we need to redo everything. That's of course not the idea. Yeah, so if you want to talk more about this or have any specific questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to your contact person or to our support. I will, of course, put the email in the chat for those of you who are not familiar with this. That was all for me. Back to you, Janni.
Thank you, Diana. Let's see. Okay. Okay, that's all for now, guys. We want to thank you all so much for joining us today and hope that you're feeling inspired and with a few tips and tricks up your sleeves. So we will be sending out some email communication afterwards with more info about the news that we were presenting today. And we will also be sending out the recording so that you'll be able to share it with your colleagues or go back and have another check at something. And just as Diana said, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to the support or your contact person. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. And as we always say at Learnifier, may the learning be with you. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating with us today. Thank you.